I want you guys to remember, and I'm showing you this video because I know you guys can do this. Just consider me putting my hand on your shoulder and say, hey, get to it, kid. You can get it done. We're going to remove the upper control arm and do the lower ball joint on this 2009 Chevy Silverado. This is going to be same as a GMC Sierra. This is a 1500 4x4 version. Jeff's going to walk you through it. I think he did a fabulous job with the video. It came out really well. I was working on other stuff and making other videos for you guys. So he's going to get to it. Him and Cameron are going to show you how it's done. He's going to explain to the tools and everything else. Remember, don't be the next to them. Be the first to you. God bless. I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, for this job, you're going to need a few tools. Some of them are going to be ones you may have to go to your local parts store, such as AutoZone, to do the free tool rental. Today we're going to use a 1917 combination gear wrench, an 1816 gear wrench, a 21 millimeter gear wrench, a 21 millimeter open-end box wrench. You're going to need a 10 millimeter box wrench, a fairly large half-drive socket wrench. Having a brain fart. You're going to need 21, 22, 23, 27, and a 36 millimeter in half-drive. Would help if you, and it'll also help if you have some of the power tools that we've got here. You're going to need a couple of different hammers, sledgehammer. You'll need a flat bladed screwdriver. You're going to need some C-clamp pliers. The pushy pliers work real handy. Channel locks, a couple of different pry bars, regular pliers. You need an awl. It's going to help you get the bolts out for the upper control arm. The specialty tools you're going to need that you may have to rent. This is a ball joint tool. Most of your parts stores, you can get that. You can either purchase one, or you can go to like a place like AutoZone, like I said, and use the rented tool. Also help to need if you have some torches. They're going to help get the lower ball joint out when you go to press it out with the ball joint tool. You don't necessarily need it, but it certainly makes the job a lot easier. Okay, I'm going to walk you through the steps of what we're going to do. The order is kind of important when you do this job. It simplifies things. First you're going to do is you're going to disconnect the ABS wire. All right, it plugs in right here. You're going to use your pushy pliers. You're going to push it off here, here, and pull it off here. Now, we're doing this just so the wire doesn't get broken. It helps to get it out of the way. Next, we're going to take there was one tool I forgot to mention. It's a T30 torque bit. You're going to need that to take the brake rotor off. First thing you do, take that little bolt out with your T30. That'll loosen this up. Next, you're going to take your brake rotor. We're going to take the brake rotor or the brake caliper off. Then we're going to take the caliper mounting bracket off. Then we're going to disconnect it up here, this bracket, and that holds your brake line to your upper control arm. After that, we're going to really take the brake rotor off. Now once that's all off, it's going to expose everything. And you're going to take a small screwdriver and you're going to kind of poke around here, and you're going to take this dust cap off, and that'll relieve your axle nut. From there, we will undo your axle nut, and then we're going to undo the upper ball joint. Once that's loose, this thing will be kind of flopping around, and we're going to take off the outer control rod. Take that off, and now the spindle is going to be flopping around, held on by the lower ball joint only. Now it will help if you have some help, because this thing is kind of heavy. Next, we're going to take the lower ball joint nut off, and we're going to remove the spindle altogether and set it off to the side. We don't have to do anything to it. So after that, then we're going to take these nuts off. Here, here, and here. Now it really helps if you mark the position. If these plastic tabs are broken on yours, you will need to mark the position of these locators. This locates the angle of your suspension so that your camber is correct on your truck. So remember, if these are broken, the front one's blue, the rear one is white. They have special pins in them, and they locate those tabs. After we remove this, then we're going to remove the lower ball joint with the ball joint tool. We'll press it out. We'll put the new one, and then we'll install the new parts and put it all back together. First, we're going to undo the ABS wire. Take your push pliers, just kind of pull them out. Doesn't take much force. You don't really want to break them. Get that in there, pull it up, little push button there, unplug it, and just kind of let it feed it out and let it hang out of the way. Okay, next we're going to loosen this little nut up. Next we're going to take the caliper off. 19 millimeter, two 19 millimeter bolts here and here. Okay, next we're going to use a small pry bar and just gently kind of work it off. Off the caliper mounting bracket. There's two 18 millimeter bolts here and back here. And once you take those off, this will just pop right off. Okay, next we're going to take off the brake rotor. Helps you have a small sledgehammer. You're going to hit it just right here in the center of the hat, and that will usually dislodge them if it's not already come loose on its own. Next we're going to release the caliper from the upper control arm. It's a 10 millimeter bolt right here, and then that'll just kind of hang off here to the side. Next we're going to take the dust cover off. Some trucks have them, some trucks don't. It's kind of nice when they do, because that means everything underneath here is not going to be all rusty. Just going to take a flat blade screwdriver, make sure it's got kind of a sharper tip on it, and right there at the edge you're just going to gently kind of tap and work your way around. It may take you a couple minutes, but you don't want to bend it up. Spin the axle around, but just work your way around and it will come out. Okay, next we're going to take off the axle nut. This is a 36 millimeter nut. Grab your great big Ugga Dugga, because you're going to need it for this one. The outer tie rod end off. It's going to be your 21 millimeter bolt right here. Now, the end of this does have a 10 millimeter end on the end. If you cannot get it with big Ugga Dugga, if it doesn't just zip off, you're going to take a 10 millimeter wrench, box end wrench, hold there, and take a 21 millimeter box end wrench, and just slowly work it off. Now we're going to show you a little trick on an easy way to get these out of here. You're going to take your little sledgehammer, and you're just going to hit it right there. And what it's going to do is it's going to create a shock inside this metal, and it'll pop this thing loose. And you may have to hit it 4 or 5 good whacks, but it will pop out. You can watch just like this. Bam, popped right out. Disconnect the upper control arm from the spindle. Right here is the ball joint, and you can see where the boot's all blown and torn out. So we know that this needs to be replaced. This is an 18 millimeter bolt, and I want to use my gear wrench because it fits up real nice. Because you're not going to be able to really get a socket on here because of the axle. And we're just going to do this nut, and we're going to use the same trick where we're going to take a hammer, we're going to hit right here, and it's going to release this ball joint. We're removing the lower ball joint and the spindle by releasing this great big nut here. You can take a pair of pliers, pull it, bend the cotter pin out the way, and remove this nut. Now this is where an assistant can be helpful, but not necessary. When you release this, it's not going to fall out because your axle's still in there. And then you're going to lift this up and just kind of wiggle the whole spindle right off the suspension. You're going to take your 27 millimeter, put it right up there, and just work it off. We're going to remove the upper control arm assembly. 21 millimeter nut and 21 millimeter bolt. Now the head of the bolt should be facing to the inside. This one, for some reason, is not. The head of the bolt is actually over here, so it's going to make it a little difficult to get that nut off in there, but we'll manage to get it off. Once you remove these two nuts, make sure you take a black Sharpie, mark where these outer plates are, just in case these break. That'll tell you right where to line these up so that the new control arm is in the correct position, so you have the right camber on your wheels. A little tip, with these bolts, they're keyed. The ones that's got a flat side. Now the head of the bolt cannot move. You do not turn it. You have to turn only the nut, or you will break these because it'll force these to move. And there's a little pin inside here that locates this. So remember, do not let the head of the bolt move. Only undo the nut part. Well, we've got our pins and that out of there. This thing is all nice and free. You just gotta yank it, and it comes right out. And throw that sucker away, or you can use it as a boat anchor, whichever you please. Okay, next we're going to remove the lower ball joint. There's a C-clip here. You're going to take like a pair of this. You're going to want to just kind of give it a couple of good little whacks. Just kind of loosen it up on there. They generally are kind of rusty and don't want to come out. And that's where you'll take your C-clip pliers and you'll work that out. And then you're going to take a 10mm box end wrench. If yours has a grease zerd on it, you're going to take that grease zerd out. And then we're going to show you how to use the ball joint removal tool. Okay. To remove the lower ball joint, this is where you're going to use your ball joint press. You use the cup that's got a hole all the way through so that the ball joint can actually pass through here as it presses out. This is a 23mm on the top, and you'll turn it down and it'll force, after you've gotten the C-ring out of there, it'll force it down through. And this is where heat comes into play. A lot of times these do not want to come out on their own, and you'll have to heat this area with an acetylene torch until it's bright cherry red. Or get a great big bar with 23mm, and it's going to take a lot of force. Sometimes they come out real easy. Most times that's not the case because they are pressed in pretty tight.